In the previous lecture, we have learnt about the concept of arrays. I had shown you how we can declare an array and how we can initialize its elements. Most of the times we are interested in reading the values of the array, that is by asking from the user. So I have come up with an example of an array program that will clear all the concepts, how we can declare an array, how we can read the values into an array by applying a loop, and how we can display their values. So this is the program in which we are supposed to read the temperatures of a city for the last 10 days. All these values, they will be put into an array, and then we will go on to display these values. Now see, here I have declared the array with the name TMP. Name could be anything, and as you know, this is 10 is the size. That means we want to have total number of 10 elements. Now because at the time of traversing the elements of an array, we need to have a subscript. So the subscript will keep changing, and subscript always starts from 0. So we need to have a counter variable that will, the value of which will start from 0, and it will go until size minus 1. Why size minus 1? Because subscript starts from 0 and not 1. Okay, so when I have already declared the array, now I am going to read the values into the array. I will be asking the user to read the values into this array. So the condition goes like this: while n is less than 10, then this is the prompt, enter the temperature of day. When the value of n is 0, that means we are going to read the temperature of the first day. So in lieu of this %d, the value n plus 1 will be printed. So the first time value of n is 0. So the message for the first time would be enter the temperature of day 1. This scanf will ask the user to read the value, and the value will go into the first element of the array. And what will be that element? TMP 0, because current value of n is 0. And then plus n will increment the value of n by 1. Again it will go up and check the condition. Now the value of n is 1. Again the condition is true. It will enter into the loop block. The message will appear, enter the temperature of day 2, because value of n is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then through scanf we will be reading the value into TMP1. This is nothing else but the second element of the array, that is the temperature of the second day. Similarly, plus n will increment the value of n, and it will be 2. Again it will go up, condition is true, and this loop will go on like this. It will keep reading the values starting from TMP0 till TMP9. Suppose this is your array TMP. TMP0 is the first element, TMP1 is the second element, TMP2 is the third element, and so on. TMP9 happens to be the 10th element. So I have just written hypothetical values. Whatever values will be given by the user, they will be stored like this in the array. I have just assumed that the first value, that is value of TMP0, was given as 32.0. That of TMP1 was 31.9, and so on. So this is your array. Now after finishing the loop that is used for reading the values for the array elements, now I want to display all these values. So again I will have to apply the loop, because in this loop when I read the values using scanf, ultimately when the value of n reached 11, this condition was false and loop was terminated. Now I again want to apply a loop that will be printing all these values on the screen. Now of course for this purpose I will have to reinitialize the value of n with 0, because right now it is 11. So if I keep it 11, the second loop will not work, because your very first time your condition is going to be false. So I have reinitialized the value of n with 0. While n is less than 10, this condition will be tested, which is true because right now value of n is 0 after reinitialization. So temperature of day %d, this %d format specifier is being used for this n+1. This will print temperature of day 1 because value of n is 0, 0 plus 1, 1 is equal to will be printed as it is. In lieu of this %.2f, the value of the very first element, that is tmp0, will be printed. Then plus n is going to increment the value of n by 1. It will become 1. Again it will go up, and printf is going to print temperature of day %d 1 plus 1 2 is equal to %.2f. In lieu of this %.2f, the value of tmp1 will be printed because right now the value of n is 1. So let me execute the program. So the first loop, that is using scanf to read the values, is being executed. So I'm going to read the values. I'm just giving hypothetical values. This is the last value, and here is the output. This is the output of the second loop, which is using printf, which is applying a loop and using printf to display the values on the screen.